Are we actually going? We're on. Go, Sophia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to ABC Gluten Free. Thank you for joining us. Today is Donut Day. Yay, donut time, Sophia. It's time for donuts, and it's also, today's a very special day. It's National Gluten Free Day. So we want to welcome you to the gluten-free lifestyle if you're brand new. We want to welcome you to a delicious gluten-free lifestyle if you're old and just coming into the fried food scene with us. And we want to welcome you to our app. If you're joining in live on the app, welcome you today. We would love to hear about you and your journey. We'd love for you to introduce yourself in the community, maybe ask some questions or share some goals that you have to encourage others on the app. That would be wonderful. And if you're joining us from any of our other live appendages, we welcome you to ABC Gluten Free. We hope you BYON today. Oh, she's yawning. Bring your own napkin because this is certainly delicious. This is gluten-free, delicious, and it's also allergen-free. So you know what? We have an exciting show planned for you, so we need to get started, right, Sophia? This is my helper, Sophia, and she's going to lead us along the way today with some encouraging information about donuts, right? Well, you know, there's only one thing you need to know about donuts, and that's what? No, that was a good joke, though. No, they're delicious. And making donuts, I think, was one of the first things that I missed when we went gluten-free. I mean, did you miss going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting, like, those little donut holes? We used to get them in, like, a little cup.
I don't remember the sausage.
You remember the pancake sausages? Oh, so Dunkin' Donuts used to have sausages wrapped in pancakes fried. Right. She used to get the pink donut only because she liked the pink frosting, and she used to take, like, 2 bites and then leave it. But there was one thing that we did used to get at Starbucks was the little cake pops and the little scones, which were like a really nice little kind of a donut treat. What? You remember those? So donuts was one of the first things that I missed because I loved them so much because Dunkin' Donuts was like a treat for us. My dad used to always go to a local donut shop called Obco's. For those of you that live locally, you know all about Obco's. So this is going to be similar to their donut. It's just going to be on the smaller scale because their raised donut is literally like this large. We're going to make a smaller version, but it's going to be allergen-free. It's going to be delicious, so we want you to get ready. So I'm going to go over the ingredients first with you, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to make the dough, and we have a dough, so we're going to kind of show you the steps, step by step. And then if you are on the app and you subscribe to the recipe box, you will get the complete recipe, unless you want to go get your pen and paper and start writing now. All right, so we have altered this recipe along the years because we've gotten more knowledgeable, right? Our donuts have become from to delicious. The donuts have went from like to amazing within a few years, and we learned a lot about our dough and the rising process. And because we're not using a high gluten flour, we want to make sure that we get all those air bubbles and everything. So we've incorporated some little tips and tricks for you to let you know. So let's get started. So if you can go over the ingredients, I'll help you along the way. But you know what this is, right? This is, what did we do to it? We've got our yeast blooming because we want to make sure that our yeast is alive and well. And in order to do that, you don't just want to put it right into your ingredients and mix everything and not know if it's alive or not. If you keep your yeast for a very long time, you could be on the verge of maybe, maybe not. So you want to get it started. So how do we do that? We added a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You can use honey, agave, regular sugar, white sugar. We used organic brown sugar, and I like how that goes with the donuts. It just makes it a really lovely texture. We also have in here, I forget because I did it like 2 hours ago. I forget what I put in here, but it's in the recipe. Yes, so I added 2 extracts today because gluten-free dad said we need a little bit more flavor. So we did a maple and we did a vanilla extract, which you can see right here. We've got our organic extract vanilla, and then we have a pure maple vanilla extract from California, and this is Cook's. These are 2 different brands, but both of them I really like. And then I also have in here 3/4 of a cup of our dairy-free milk. Everything has come to room temperature. Everything is bubbling and beautiful. So what does this tell us? This tells us that our yeast is living and ready to be turned into donuts. If you want to do a yeast-free donut, that's a whole nother class, and we're not going to do that today. but our show is going to be focused on a yeasted donut. Normally, this process takes about 3 days. So if you don't have time to make donuts, like the man on television says, time to make the donuts, then do not start the process because you're going to have to be putting everything in and out of the refrigerator, and it's going to take you even longer, right? The process can take. It can be excruciating because you want donuts right now. But in order to have donuts right now, you have to create the dough in 3 days in advance and let it rest and sit and redo it. So you want to make sure that it's delicious. The longer you let it go, the more flavor it's going to release into your donut, and that's what we want. So here we have yeast, our extract, our milk, and that was just kind of like sitting there waiting to be beautiful. Here we have about 2.5 cups of our gluten-free flour. Sophia, we like to blend our own, so we mix a few. What do we have here? Apple cider vinegar. And then we have the rest of our milk here with a little bit of, on top, cinnamon on top, and our extract in here, a little bit more extract. And this is just our yeast that we just wanted to show you how much yeast we use for our donuts. This is about 1/4 cup. What we have dropped on the recipe, I'd have to look it up, but we have that dropped right into the recipe. So just go by what it says on there because that is what we did. And then we have here about 1/4 cup of our dairy-free milk, dairy-free butter. And today we're using Earth Balance butter. If you can have a regular butter, what'd you say? Earth Balance, yeah, I think that's Smart Balance. That's the same company. Yeah, so I think. So we have our dairy-free vegan butter here. If you can have regular butter, go ahead and incorporate it. You might just have to reduce the liquid a little bit because our regular butter has a lot of water in it. But if you're using something like a Kerrygold, an Irish butter, or a European butter, then just stick with the 1/4 cup like we have. So hopefully we've got you on the same page now, and we're ready to get started to make our dough. Sophia's going to sift the flour into the bowl. Go ahead and do that. So we're going to sift the dry first, then we're going to add our wet. It's just a typical dough. We're going to use our hands, or you could use a dough blender, or you can use your food processor, or you can use your mixer if you have one. You can do that. And what I would suggest is if you're going to use a mixer or a food processor, start this process in there, let it sit, and then you can just kind of add your sifted flour into there. And you'll only make one bowl dirty instead of two. Here we've got a lot of dirty dishes, but it's okay because we wanted to separate all the ingredients for you so that you can kind of see what it would look like. And we want everything to come to room temperature so that it incorporates really nicely. So if you're new to gluten-free and you're like, man, I really miss a donut, I would suggest to you to make this donut recipe now and let it sit for maybe about an hour, and then you can fry the donuts or you can bake them. It's up to you. If you want them to really be super flavorful, like I said, you're going to want to let this recipe sit out on your counter like we have with our dough here and let it sit out. And I like to save a piece of my my old dough and add it to my new dough. So that's actually what we're going to do today. Anything you're done with, just get rid of, okay? Because we want to make room on the table. Oh, we don't need it anymore though, right? Yeah, we don't need this bowl or the sifter. No. We're going to now, I'm going to have Sophia put the butter in. I'm just going to dump the butter right into the bowl. And I'm going to let her kind of just mash it up with a fork or whatever. You could use your fingers, but she's got a Band-Aid on, so we're not going to do that today. And then I'm saving some flour, extra flour, so that I can work my bench, so that I can work my dough. If you don't have extra flour, you might just want to take 1 or 2 tablespoons out of your what you're going to be using for the dough, take it out, and then you'll kind of reduce the liquid a little bit, just in case you don't want to use all your flour, you want to save some. Okay, that was my point, was that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, since I have most of the ingredients in this bowl that we went over, I'm going to just dump this bowl into Sophia's dry, and she's going to start working it as a dough. You ready? So as you can see, she kind of just clumped in that butter to make it almost like a wet sand. It actually can go in at room temperature, it can go in cold, or it can go in a liquid form. For this particular recipe, it doesn't really matter. All right, you ready? So I'm just gonna dump in this yeasted, blooming, beautiful goodness right here. We talk a lot of times about, I'm going to get a, Sophie, could you get a spatula so we can get the rest of that out? A lot of times I talk about allowing your dough to rest and allowing your dough to kind of ferment so that it gets a lot of flavor. If you wanted to do this, I would say make this with about half a cup of flour and let it sit out for a few days and then add a little bit more flour with each day until you use all of your 2 cups of flour, and then save the last half a cup of flour for the ending result, which will be when you roll it out onto your parchment or your plastic wrap or whatever it is that you're going to use. Donuts can seem very scary, but don't let them scare you, because although this process seems like it takes a lot of time, it's really worth it, because you're going to get some delicious donuts. You're going to be able to like dress them however you want. You can make a round donut, a heart-shaped donut, a square donut, whatever you really want to make. And then you can put on it. Go ahead. We might not eat all that. And I'm going to just move these things aside. So don't forget, if your yeast is old or you're not really sure where it came from, you want to make sure you bloom it, make sure it's activated before you use it. You can use any type of sugar you like. The yeast feeds off of the sugar. So you want to make sure that you have something in there. There we go. That's nice. All right. So we don't need any more liquid, but we're going to use a little bit more flour. So I want Sophia to be able to have a sticky dough, but one that she can kind of handle, even if we do have to put flour on our hands. We have our Silpat. If you don't have a Silpat and you are into gluten-free baking or cooking, I would honestly say invest in one, because I use this every single day. Baking, cooking. Is that good over there? Why don't you dump it out? We've got a cookie monster in the background there. So I use this all the time. So I would say get one. You may not need one that's so large. You want to move the bowl from over, please? You may not need one that's so large, but I like to just cover my whole counter with it. And that makes it really easy for me to actually get started on making donuts. Because what we're going to do is we're going to add more flour. Sophie, you're going to do a little bit more flour in there. And then we're going to just dump that dough out onto this space here. I'm going to actually give her my last extra piece of dough that I had, and she's going to incorporate that into her bowl. And then you can just dump it out here. This can be a one bowl process. You don't have to worry about, oh my word, she has all those dirty dishes. It can be a one bowl process. You don't have to do it like we did. We just want to show you everything individually so you can kind of see what it looks like and what to expect when you're making these, because we want you to be able to be confident in making this. I met with one of my older clients, out on the bench. I met with one of my other clients this week, and she said, that was the best pizza I ever had. And she said, I'm making it because it's so good. I said, well, make a bunch of doughs and leave them in the freezer so that you have them when you want pizza, so that the process doesn't have to be so long and tedious. So you have to kind of start to get smart with your gluten-free baking and cooking. And all right, Sophia, yes?
They can see all your dirty dishes with this camera angle now, too.
Okay, so do you want to see my dirty dishes or
They can see
or not?
them all.
Yeah, you want to see in the sink? Okay, so my sink is dirty, and that's a real thing. So we actually really do what we say we do, and we're actually baking pretty much for the week to prepare for you so that we can make a delicious recipe for you. Now, this donut recipe we actually did at an expo, and it was a lot of fun, but we did it in little donut holes. We call them holy donuts, and that ended up actually drawing a lot of customers bringing their requests to us for more donuts. So we're giving you more donuts. We have a question from Gluten Free Dad.
Selling rags?
Cash paid for eggs. This actually we need because we're going to allow this to cover our dough to let it rest for a little bit. So now you can see we've got nice, it's so soft. Go ahead, Sophia. Feel that beautiful dough. So we're actually going to just press that dough out gently. I'm going to let Sophia do that. And we're going to get our cutter ready.
How far do you want me to press it?
Oh, not too far. So depending upon how thick you want your donut and how long you're going to fry it is going to determine how large you're going to make yours. I like a half an inch because then it puffs up to double the size. And that for me is a big enough donut. We don't want to get too heavy. All right, don't push out the air too much. We want to savor the air. We want to savor the air. Yes, look at that beautiful dough. Yep. So we can always make it a little bit more even if we use a rolling pin, just we don't want to be too heavy. So we're going to just add some flour and we're going to gently roll it out. We don't want to let all of the air out because we want the air for the donuts. All right, I'm going to roll back just to even it out. And obviously we're going to be re-rolling this into, more donuts because this is going to give us about 8 to 10 donuts, depending on the size, obviously. Sophia's going to do hearts. We're going to do heart shapes with holes in them, representative of my life and history as a heart patient. Just do both if you want. Growing up as a heart patient with, they called it a hole in the heart, but it's tetralogy of Fallot. I never really knew much about how gluten affected your heart and how any type of inflammation really can affect all of your body, but how gluten can affect it. So coming into this lifestyle at a later age was kind of quite shocking for me. Growing up in the restaurant business, I didn't really know much about gluten other than we used high gluten flour for our pizza and it was delicious. So make sure you're going to dunk all of your implements in. It's okay, just leave it, we can redo it. Yeah. So growing up in that industry, I just knew that the higher the gluten and the flour, the better the pizza, the better the crunch, the more yeast, the more air, because the gluten and the yeast work so well together that they just created a delicious kind of pizza. So coming from that, I really had to work hard to get to where we are now, which we're sharing with all of you. All right, so I have my non-GMO sunflower oil at 350, and I'm going to actually drop the first donut in just to show you a little bit of how it's going to go. Because what I would normally do is, all right, we want to poke a hole in this, right? I'm going to put a hole in the heart. Okay, and then I'm going to just get rid of that little piece in the middle. You just pop it out. If you have an apple core, fine. If not, then you just poke a hole in it with another cookie cutter or another type of cutter. And then we're going to just leave our pieces on the edge here. I was two-handed, I should do it, but I have the donut in my one hand. All right, so for my donut, I normally would cut them, cover them with my towel, let them rest for a few minutes. But I just want to show you how nice these are going to come out. I've got my spoon. I'm just going to put it on the slotted spoon and slip it in so I don't burn myself. And we're going to get I have a baking sheet with a cooling rack ready. I'm just going to put it right here so I'm not in Sophia's way. Watch your hand. Right underneath here and just set it out. So as you can see, the heart is puffing up a little bit. But if I let it sit and rest, it's going to puff up even more. And really, that's what we really want. We've got a lot of air in here. We're going to cook that for about 2 minutes on each side. I just wanted to flip it so I could show you how you're kind of getting some indentation. That's okay, but we want to really let it rest so that it is going to bloom up instead of kind of fold it a little bit. Those look nice, Sophia. If your cookie cutter is starting to stick, you want to just put some flour out and let it sit in the flour for just a moment. You want to make sure you flour each time you're going to go into the heart, and then you can pop it out. What'd you say? Okay, so you're going to do that. I'll let you do that. And then all we have is our dough scraper. You can use a spatula of any kind to scoop up our dough. And then we're going to just roll back our little ends. You can do a lot of fun things with the little ends. You can do donut holes. You can make shapes. You can do braids if you want. You can try to do like a round donut with the handle, kind of like the Dunkin' Donut, which is a lot of fun to do. The dough is very soft. It's really very pliable, but it's also very delicate. So you want to make sure you're not messing around with it. You just make your donuts, you let them rest, cover them with a towel, and then you're going to fry them. So all of this right here, I would cover with a towel at least 30 minutes. An hour is even better because you're going to see just such beautiful development in that flour. And then I'm going to take our donut out. Golden brown is what you want, but you also want to make sure that it's baked all the way through. So you're going to let it rest and you're not going to touch it. because yesterday when we were making donuts, I decided to eat one right out of the oil, and it wasn't cooked all the way. So you want to let your donut sit and cook. All right, so let's put, they are cute. You want to put some holes in there? Go ahead. Here, put them on here. So if you want to bake your donut holes, they're super cute and they're fun. And they're like just the right size for kids to have a donut. Well, not my kids, but maybe your kids. My kids would be like, what is this? I don't want this. But they're super cute. You just pop them in there. Carefully here. Yeah, go ahead. You don't want to splatter though. I don't want to splatter on you. So okay, there you go. So we'll cook our little donut holes. I'm going to take one of the ones that Sophia made without a hole in it, and I'm going to fry that one up now. Oh, where's the one without a hole? Here. There we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of flour on my scraper. I'm going to pull up that part that she made that's really beautiful. She's got the fluted one. This is actually our ravioli cutter. Heart-shaped raviolis, heart-shaped donuts. Who doesn't like that? Valentine's Day is coming up. We want to get you all ready. All right, so our donut holes, they cook really fast. Hold on, let me get these out, Sophia. These are super cute. They're so much fun. You can coat these in chocolate, or you can just eat them just like that. You want to put those in here? Put them on my spoon. I don't want to drip on the dough. Put them both on there. All right. So the one that doesn't have a hole in it is going to take a little longer to cook because when the oil can go through the middle, it's going to cook from inside out and from outside in, right? So we've got it cooking on both sides. When it's cooking just as a full-shaped donut, it's going to take a little bit longer. You want to make sure that it's all cooked. So I kind of like to throw the oil over it and make sure it cooks on both sides evenly. If you're using a deep fryer, just drop it down and let it go. It'll be fine. If you're using a pan like I am, you want to make sure that you can flip it. Some people have you put the basket on top of the basket so you keep them down, but then you have to keep your timing right. So about 2 minutes on each side is good. Except for the little donut holes. They take about 1 minute. Look at them. They're cooked and they're little poppers. They're like donut poppers. Sophia likes these little donut poppers. She's probably going to make a whole bucket full of them, right? So as we let our I'm not going to cook too many more donuts because I just really wanted to show you the technique and make sure that you get it right. I'm going to actually cover these for now. And then I'm going to let Sophia get started on the drizzle and the drink. We don't want to forget about the drizzle and the drink. Sophia, why don't you get started on the drizzle first? Do you want to do chocolate or do you just want to keep it with this pink? So in order to do a glazed donut, which it was National Glazed Donut Day this week, you want to get your glaze right. And a glaze really consists of powdered sugar and milk, and then you can decide the flavoring that you're going to do. So it could be a maple flavor. It could just be like the straight up powdered sugar flavor. It could also be a buttery flavor, or you can do, like we have here, we have a cinnamon and sugar ready to go, which is gluten-free Dad's favorite. And this reminds me of my dad going to Obco's. That would be like a cinnamon sugar ginormous donut. And then we have our all favorite pink glaze. This is actually not flavored at all, like a strawberry flavor or anything. It's just a pink glaze. Straight up food dye in that one, everybody. And then we have some butter that we would have to dip in if we're going to do the cinnamon and sugar. We have to melt the butter and dip it into the cinnamon and sugar, and I can let Sophia decide about that. All right, so I think our donut is very well cooked. We're going to take that out. That one's a little too cooked. It feels good, though. You want to melt the butter so we can do cinnamon and sugar. And then we have here is a little blueberry compote. Gluten-free Dad likes fruit. He likes blueberries. So if we wanted to fill our donut or just top it with the blueberry compote, if I wanted to fill it, I'd have to blend this up a lot more to make it more of a piping. But if you want to just put it on top and enjoy it as like a dessert that you can cut into, you can use that. So we have that also ready. We've got our extra pieces of dough here. We're just going to let those sit. The dough is so soft and beautiful. It really is something you're going to enjoy working with, I think. All right, so while Sophia gets that ready, what else do I have to do, Sophia? She's doing chocolate. chocolate is something in our house. It's like we have it pretty much in every cabinet. There's some kind of chocolate. So a chocolate donut is really basically a basic donut in our house. I like the heart shaped. It's very cute. You can actually see right through it. You can see gluten-free dad over there. Do you want to get the drink ready and I'll do the chocolate glaze for you? I'll get it ready. Oh, you're just gonna go eat that donut, aren't you? Was it good? What does it taste like? Does it have flavor? We need to know if it has flavor. I'm gonna dunk it in here. Oh, you want me to throw you one? All right, I'm gonna dunk it in the strawberry. I'm gonna.
Up there?
Mm-hmm. Donut catch. Donut catch. Everybody catch the donut. It's a little poppy. Nice little donut poppers. I actually put a lot of the frosting on, which I don't normally do, so I'm going to take a little drink of water. So if you guys are new to tuning into the show, we want to welcome you. We have, we like to bake, we like to cook, we love food, and we really like fried food. We don't apologize for it, but we do draw caution to you because we are using non-GMO sunflower oil. We're using the best ingredients that we really can find. We have organic sugars, organic chocolate, organic butter, organic flour. So we really try to incorporate the best of what we can when we are going to do frying. So we get what?
The best bad food you can.
The best bad fried food that you can get is on this show for sure. All right, so what Sophia is doing is what we want to teach you. We want to show them how to do this, Sophia. If you want to cinnamon sugar your donut, you first have to put it in a nice butter. Do you want to do cinnamon and sugar for the heart-shaped one or no?
Yeah.
So you first have to put it in the butter. Dip it in the butter. Look at that. You got a beautiful buttery donut. And then you're going to just put it face down in that cinnamon and sugar. Look at that. Gluten-free dad's going to love this one. Actually, pun intended with the heart, babe. That's for you. That's going to be delicious. All right, so the next one I think I'll let Sophia do because I think she has some ideas about this. Our under's a little overcooked, so I'm going to put another one in for her. I'm going to do this for you, Sophia. One more donut in the fryer, okay? I like the holy donuts better. I'll do this one for you since it's closest to me. All right. Sophia's getting our drink ready now. Why don't you go get those over there? We need them. So what she's going to be making me is a special drink today for me because, oh, it's for me, isn't it? Do I have flour on my face? On my face? Okay. She's making a special drink for us. Don't put it on top of the donut, silly. And that special drink is something that you may have recognized. A lot of people have it on Instagram, but not like ours because what she's going to do is phenomenal. Sophia, can I do a little bit of this in there?
Let me do it.
A little bit of this.
Let me do it.
All right, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. She's going to do it. And let me get our donuts on the nice plate. What'd you say? Oh. Darn it. I got to flip over my donut. See, if you don't flip your donut over, you want to make sure you get even fry on it. So we messed that one up. So there we go. We got a nice fry on this one. We'll take it out. All right. So talk your way through this, please, and share with us what you're doing, okay? And I'll get the donuts ready. Gonna do the donuts.
What am I doing?
Go ahead, show them first. Oh, I thought you could just do a little chocolate on the edges.
You gotta do it.
All right, so she's got melted chocolate. Come on, talk your way through, please.
Melted chocolate.
We used Enjoy Life chocolate chips, which we love. They're our favorite chocolate chips. They're delicious. And they're all allergen-free. They're nut-free, so you don't have to worry about when you're using Enjoy Life chocolate if you're going to have, an allergy or reaction. What else? What's next?
Shot of espresso.
1 shot of Lavazza espresso. We love Lavazza. It's Italian coffee brand. If you've never heard of it, you probably live in a hole. I'm not really sure, but maybe. And then we've got our dairy-free milk. Now, you're doing hot or cold? Okay, you're doing cold. Oh, okay. And where is it? Go get it. Go get it first. Go get it so you can show them. We have our Nutrilite Organics, gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, soy-free, organic protein powder from the best of Nutrilite Organic Farms. It's delicious. So this is what you need to make this. She goes. She put that right into the machine to froth the milk. And now she's going to make it really special for her mom with a little topping. No, you don't have to ice it for me. Just do that. We're going to have a protocino topped with our delicious donuts, and it's going to be amazing. So if you've never tried this before, I highly recommend that you go out and make yourself one of these delicious drinks with the donuts on top. And if you've been to a local, like there's a food chain, is it a food chain or a restaurant chain that serves a milkshake with donuts on top? But we did it better. Look at that. That looks phenomenal. Maybe some whipped cream on it next time. We'll see. You got an A minus. Just kidding. All right, Sophia's going to, you drizzle the other side. I want you to drizzle that side, not the dark side. You want to do this one instead?
Sorry.
Yeah, let me take this one. That one's too dark.
I'm eating this one. This one.
We've got one more she's going to do. And then we're going to take a bite.
Where this bring?
I'll get them. You do this one. You want to do this one with pink or you want to do chocolate?
I don't know. I got it.
All right, well, here, take that one. Sprinkles, white or pink?
Both.
Okay, so she's making me do sprinkles. We have our little dragees. They're pretty little colors. We have white and pink. A lot of the times you can find sprinkles in like Marshalls or something like that, and make sure they're gluten-free. You don't want to add gluten to your beautiful donuts, and then you're going to just derail everything that you've done. The little dragees, I would put a lot on because I like that little crunch, but some people don't like that. So we'll put this one down here. We'll put this one on top. This one's way prettier. And then I've got Sophia's coming last. Ooh, you're doing stripes. Can everybody see you doing stripes? No.
Yeah.
You're going to do chocolate too? Oh my, I'm going to take that donut. That's going to be mine. So gluten-free donuts are gluten, dairy, soy, egg-free, no nuts, and they're super delicious. And we've used all organic ingredients because if you're going to have a donut, you know, you're going to fry something up. You want to make sure it's the best of the bad. Like gluten-free dad said.
What?
The best of the bad. It's the best of the bad.
I get it. Yeah, I get
So is your favorite donut the pink frosted one or like this kind of a donut?
it. Depends on the mood.
Oh, okay. Because I really like just like this powder, like this donut with just cinnamon and sugar. What about you, gluten-free dad? Powdered sugar or frosting? I mean, cinnamon sugar or frosting? What do you like better?
Depends on the mood.
Okay. So what about you guys? Do you like a plain glazed? Do you like a pretty glaze or do you like a cinnamon sugar? All right, put that down on the plate. Put that down on the plate. Just put it right on top. There you go. Ah, that's dangerous. All right, guys. So today we made for you beautiful allergen-free donuts. We want to wish you happy National Glazed Donut Day and happy National Gluten-Free Day. You know, this wasn't on the national food holidays or holidays many years ago, but now it is. So we want to celebrate with you by eating a gluten-free donut. You ready? Cheers. I'm just going to take my drink because this is the best thing ever right here. I got a donut on the side. I can eat my way down to the bottom of my protocino and get my protein and not so many carbs, right? I'm going to sit. There you go. It's delicious, right? All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in today. We hope not only did you enjoy the show, but that you learned a lot. And if you have any questions, feel free to go to the app, go to the question and answer section, put your question in there, or share your goals, or share, you know, if you have made something that's delicious, you want to share it with us, just post a picture. We'd love to see it and introduce yourself. If you guys have not downloaded the app yet, please go to your Apple or your App Store. We have iOS and we have Android, and download ABC Gluten Free. It's free to download, it's free to watch, and if you subscribe to our recipe box, you'll get delicious recipes like this. Gluten Free Dad?
You can also just go right on the website and do it that way.
Or you can go right to the website at ABC Gluten Free. Is that how they do it?
It's on Passion.
Passion.
And then.
Yeah, I don't know. You can do it that way, right? You can do it that way too if you want to. But guys, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you, Sophia, for your help. Thank you, Dennis and Gluten Free Dad. Asian Flash is back. He's healthy. He's well. He's back, and we're gonna feed him donuts. Maybe that's not such a good idea. We'll make him some scrambled eggs later. So, guys, thank you for tuning in today. We want you to come taste and see how good it is to be gluten free. Have a delicious weekend, everybody. God bless. Ciao. I will do the card, Sophia. Yes, I will. You're going to make me do this. Aprons by REM Designs. Hair by Satinique. Makeup by Artistry. Thank you to our pantry partners and fridge friends. And if you'd like to inquire about being an app sponsor, email us at abcglutenfree@gmail.com. ABC Gluten Free is a production of American Bods. Ciao, everybody. Have a delicious weekend. God bless. Thank you.
My chocolate.